What's the haps? I'm Meroka, and today I'm going to be taking a quick look at Beholder by Warm Lamp Games. It's a dystopian, Orwellian kind of, I don't know, building management simulator, I guess is perhaps the best genre you could file it under. It certainly seems to be a popular theme at the minute. We've got, well, obviously Orwell coming out episodically over the next couple of weeks or so, which is, it's certainly a theme that interests me right now, because I am playing that and enjoying that immensely, so... with Beholder coming out at the same time, it's certainly a theme that I'm on board with. Maybe even a few elements of Papers, Please in there as well, which I suppose the only thing that's really kind of delved into this kind of territory that I'm aware of to any great extent in the past, certainly delivered in this kind of way anyway. We'll have a quick look at the settings before we get into it. We have graphics quality is just kind of some 4 presets. You've got low, average, high, and highest, and that's about all you get. So it is a fairly basic graphic style. It's a very pretty, very stylized thing going on, but very basic at the end of the day, so perhaps that is all one really needs for graphics. You have full screen and resolution options, VSync on or off. Language options, got English, Russian, German, French, and simplified Chinese. I will say the preview build they sent out defaulted to Russian, which I don't know if the full version, the full release version that comes out today, defaults to Russian. If you do need to change it, I suppose the settings will be the 4th option down on the menu, because load and continue won't be there when you start a new game, and your language is the 5th option down here. So yeah, if it defaults to Russian, that's how you fix that. The thought crosses my mind that for most other languages in the world, this is a problem with all the English-speaking games, or English primary language games, whereas it's actually not a problem, it's just a very first world problem. It's not a problem that English-speaking people tend to encounter in their video games terribly often, but I suppose in this instance, I had to suck it up and deal with it, really. So, music and sound effects on separate sliders, which is great. There's no voice acting or anything to be heard from in this game. It's all text and translated from Russian, so maybe not perfect in some places, but generally pretty decent. Actually, I tell a lie, no, the intro cutscene definitely does have voice acting, but it is pretty poor voice acting, and it's over pretty quickly because then we get into the game and there's no more voice acting, so it's okay. Controls are rebindable, but yeah, it's literally just a camera movement. You got WASD for let's try and get some words right here. Let's go WASD for camera movement, or you can use your mouse for camera movement, either or, and everything else is point and click. So we're going to head back into our world and delve into some Orwellian dystopian spying on peoples for the government. Really is what it's all about. That's the long and the short of it. So, welcome to our apartment building. We are Carl, we live in the basement with our family, and we are tasked with monitoring this entire building and taking care of everyone's various needs, as well as the government's various needs. We have currently three rooms in this apartment filled. The other ones can be filled at, to be fair, any time, really. Whether it necessarily always has people to go in there or not, I'm not sure. I've never actually found it where it said, no, there's no one for this apartment, but certainly the first quest has you wind up getting someone arrested, and you are required to fill apartment 2 pretty quickly. That's basically the tutorial mission. And it does give you a choice of 2 different tenants, so things play out a touch differently, depending on who you pick, because everyone has their lives, everyone's leading their lives, they go about their daily business, and they will interact with each other in different ways. And yeah, so right now we have a couple tasks. On a more personal note, our daughter is sick, and my wife wants me to find aspirin to attempt to treat our daughter. We are the ministry. This is the main story quest. We've got a bit of time on this one. They don't always. In fact, they're rarely quite as generous with time as they are on this one. But we have 10 days to evict Klaus from apartment 1. They don't care whatsoever about his wife, but they would like me to get Klaus out of apartment 1 primarily. So I think there's a few different ways you can do that. There's a few different steps to each task, but it plays out in different ways. You kind of got different branching paths, and these will impact people's lives differently. Certainly, I think with your daughter being sick, this particular storyline, the doctor, if the doctor has moved into your apartment, can quite comfortably get involved in this. Since I've not got the doctor this time, the doctor probably won't be involved in that storyline, so it will play out entirely differently, and I maybe not quite as well. Although, the stories rarely actually play out particularly well at all, if we're quite honest. It's, as I guess, it's an Orwellian dystopian thing. Things don't go well for people, you know? Myself especially, because you wind up getting embroiled in all sorts of stuff. Third one down, we've got Popanado. I don't think there's any time limits on this one or any particular rewards specific to the quest. It's kind of more what he mentioned in conversation with me. He wants me to sell some canned goods for him, and it seems all above board, but I'm willing to bet that you kind of get embroiled in something, because you always kind of seem to wind up getting embroiled in something. So yeah, we've got a bunch of government directives. These are what we can get people on if you're looking to get somebody arrested. You got this whole shopping list of trivialities that the government has decided and decreed. These things are illegal in the world now, so they can't do that. So we can talk to Klaus Schimmer. He's got an exclamation mark over his head, which is the universal sign for I have a quest. So what do you need, Carl? Did you receive an assignment to spy on me? I can threaten him with eviction, just come out straight as like, get out of my apartment, or we can talk about the ministry order and try and resolve this pleasantly. Basically, the government's fairly callous about it. They don't care. They just find a way to get him out of the building. We don't want him in the building anymore. If he leaves of his own volition, that's good. If you evict him, that's good. If you get him arrested, I think the government would be quite happy with that. They're not a big fan of Klaus Schimmer for, I think, various reasons, but at the same time, they don't have anything straight up illegal that you can actually get him on. So if you could pick him up on one of their trivialities, that would help. The problem is actually a lot of the people in these buildings seem to be actually pretty law-abiding, all things considered. So, I mean, to be fair, I've actually played the other route before, so I'm actually going to threaten him with eviction this time. So, if you bourgeois minion, I was told to evict you from the building. One wrong move and you're on the street. Pack your things and leave this house on good terms. Do you want to evict me? It's your right. You can't evict me without reason. I was told you spy on me, is that true? I can confirm or I can excuse myself. Yeah, I spy on you. My nose afraid. If you don't stop threatening me, Carl, I swear I'll shoot you. Oh, interesting. I wonder how that plays out. Burn in hell, your boss and you. I'll take my apartment and my life. Is he actually going to shoot me? Oh, okay. I guess the story can end there. Huh. I didn't see that one coming. I didn't think the game would just end there. The game can just end there. Amusing achievement. Again, I'm never sure if these capture or not.
The day of Carl's funeral, the cheap pinewood coffin was covered with rocky soil as the bleak autumn sun lumbered across the sky.
I guess that's it. That's how that game ends.
A thin fog settled over the cemetery. No one from Carl Stein's family was destined to live to the end of the year.
And that's your voice acting. That's the voice acting. Not amazing. It does allow me to continue, so I guess I can pick up from where I left off and not get shot, maybe? Let's try that. So we're right back here. This is fine. This is about where we were. I think the game saves after every quest. It would be nice if you could save wherever, but it saves after each particular quest. And as I say, some of the quests are, well, you've got 240 hours. They're a little longer, so unless you're doing other kind of side quests in the meantime to break things up a bit, you're not actually saving the game as often as you maybe should. So yeah, let's continue on, not get shot. Let's play things out maybe differently this time. As I say, I guess the game has a lot of bad endings to it. And, well, to be fair, if you wind up with a bad ending because you run out of money, the government just arrests you for embezzlement and everybody dies. So that's that. And then you actually do have to start the game from the beginning as well, which is a little annoying. That kind of, in many ways, it almost kind of reminds me a little bit of Long Live the Queen, which sort of relied on a lot of trial and error, and if you didn't know what stupid obstacles were going to be thrown at you in the near future, that you were going to be really difficult to overcome, and you hadn't planned and prepared to overcome those particular obstacles, you would die and you would have to play through the entire game again, which is not great. So, hello, hi, what do you need? Do you receive a note? Yeah, let's threaten him with the eviction. We shall confirm this, but I'm going to end the conversation. You've been on the brink, Carl. So he's not happy with that, so I didn't expect him to be happy with that, but he's not going to shoot me today, and that's good. So maybe he's going to continue to be really, really law-abiding now, because he knows he's being watched, or perhaps because I've stressed him out, he might actually you know, get involved in criminal activity or do something the government frowns upon. Certainly. I was going to say, certainly there's no one in the apartment and I can go have a look and peruse and see if they've got any apples or something. I think the best way to do something like this would actually be to wait for the vendor to turn up and buy an apple from him. You have got a little fast forward button up here so we can make time go faster and wait for people to show up and things to happen. So she's gone out. We can stop that. She's gone down, go cooking, I think. I don't know if she's is Rosa going to be bothered about me breaking in? No, they really don't seem to be care about you breaking into other people's apartments at all. Mostly, the only thing anybody cares about is if you're in their apartment and their apartment alone and snooping through their stuff. Then they will be upset. If you leave for whatever reason, because you somehow accidentally managed to click outside the apartment and leave, you have to unlock it and open it every time. That's a bit annoying. That's happened a couple times. So Klaus and Maria are not back, although I can keep an eye out down there. Maria's coming back up, so I should probably head out their apartment because she might be heading home. Anyway, if she caught me in there, she'll be annoyed. Not necessarily end of the world, because honestly I've been caught a couple times, but there's never been any actual negative consequences to it, but perhaps that is also dependent on what your relationship is with that character. Maybe Klaus, if Klaus found me snooping through his stuff in his apartment, he might very much shoot me on sight at this point, so maybe I should try not to be caught by Klaus for that one. One time I looked at that potted plant and I found a lot of stuff in it. I've never found it since. I don't know why. Which is that was a really weird one. I was like, why does the potted plant have lots of really good stuff in it? So, that's never happened since. So, chocolate candy is a quest. She talked with the neighbours. They were told that you can buy things from the vendor on the street, and I never buy them nice things. Why don't I buy them nice things? Can I get... Why, we have an entire box of coal tar soup I bought without ration cards. Unbearable, or a rope around your neck would serve you well. Go meet him and buy sweets from Martha. That's what she's really after. We're not a great family man. Whether that's, you know, the drugs that they injected in us to keep us awake 24 hours a day or not, I don't know. We're kind of married to the job at this point, really. You can kind of try to maintain for your family, but they're very demanding. They cost actually quite a lot of money. A lot of the quests they give you... well, to be fair, we've started the storyline, the aspirin. This storyline gets expensive very quickly. Very quickly, the story ramps up into demanding large quantities of money from you. And the problem with that is that it's very hard to make money in this. As you can see from the quests, that doesn't actually reward money, that rewards reputation, which is primarily, in fact entirely, used to buy security cameras to spy on your neighbours. New government directive, so now they don't like imported soda anymore. Great. Evicting Klaus Schimmer gets us $3,000, but the quantities we're talking is $20,000 or $30,000 for some of these quests, and you just can't get that much money very easily at all. We have the ability to profile people, which is this is kind of our job as it were. And so if you write a report on somebody and get them arrested, that will show up in here as the tutorial one here. Report number 1, do that in the tutorial basically, and that rewards you $250 for every other profile that you write about people, which is basically keeping tabs on all their interests and stuff. So Mark Ranek I've already profiled. Rosa we have not profiled. We can get some money out of that. So Rosa lives in apartment number 3. She lives with Mark. She is a cafeteria cook. We know that about her. And that. So if you fill in all the things, you have all the details to send a profile. So, and you get $100 for every interest of theirs that you manage to find. So that's not going to be a really good or viable way to earn $20,000 either, honestly. That's not going to work. So we can talk to this guy. He's the vendor. He will show up every so often, usually for a few hours each day. And we have the... Oh yeah, I have books that are actually pretty valuable. Huh. Yeah, the books are valuable. I was supposed to give them to my son for a quest earlier that I failed to do in time, which isn't great, but I still have them and they're still worth $750. You could make some money that way, I suppose. There's also the thought also occurs, actually, to be fair, that you can steal things from people's apartment. If you stole people's stuff and sold it, that might not be a bad way to make money, but if people found you had been stealing things, they would report you to the government, and you would be in considerable trouble for that, so you don't want to do that. So I can buy the things. They asked me to buy candies, right? So we've got chocolate for 75 or sweets for 30, so I'll buy those. Those will do. Those will cover my bases there. So our daughter, we probably can't give the quest to you right now. Can't turn that in because our daughter's in bed, but maybe I can talk to my wife? Nope, she's not in the mood for talking to me, so never mind. That one can wait. Chocolate candy, that actually doesn't have a timeline on that anyway. I also need to speak to... no, actually, I tell you what, I need to speak to Maria. Because Maria, I know, is involved in the aspirin thing. Hi Maria, knock knock. Can do that. We can get her attention, and she'll be able to help us out. So I could go to the vendor and I could buy the aspirin, or we could talk to her. So there's always like a variety of different interesting options, and I think that's kind of one of the interesting points of the game. I will say there's it kind of breaks down a little bit after a while. This whole interesting, complex interactions between all the characters in the apartment, it only lasts for the first couple hours or so. Do you have any aspirin? Bring me a cardigan. Okay, she has pills, but she wants a cardigan in exchange. So our vendor here actually can help. I could probably I might well be able to rob somebody's apartment, steal a cardigan, and just give that to her, and that would be the cheapest way to complete that one. But if we go here, 465 for aspirin. That's not compared to what we own. That's not one of the biggest expenses we've ever faced in the game. But we can also buy a cardigan for 255, so that's actually a better deal. So there's different ways to solve these particular problems. And oh, wait, no, don't you dare go out to work for the day. I need to talk to you. Here, have a cardigan. Here's some pills. Cool. We can take these down to speak to our wife. I get some very... You only seem to get significant audio when you zoom right in, and you sometimes get some kind of mumbly character voices. It's a very charming aesthetic to the world, but yeah, it's shame the gameplay just seems to kind of peter out after a bit. So we can give her the pills. Cool, that's that quest complete. Okay, cool. There's some sweets. Wonderful, that quest complete. Onwards with management. We gain some reputation that allows us to buy some security cameras. I'll have one of those and one of those, and go on one of those as well. That's not my reputation in tatters because I bought cameras, I suppose. We can peek through the keyholes, check nobody's home. Is nobody home? Have they all gone out for the day? Oh, Mark's there. Mark's on his way out for the day. So yeah, we can just let ourselves in. That's fine. I don't think Maria's in. So we can install some security cameras and get spying on people, because it's about time I have some security in here. We need to be able to see what these guys are doing. There's the 3 different angles. You can see the wide angle one lets you see like half a room pretty much. The kind of the second tier ones are like the ones we've got. I think the ones in the kitchen down here, they're kind of the middle tier ones. And then you've got like the narrow ones, which I think that one's a narrow one down there. That one's certainly a narrow one. You don't get to see much with that. If somebody stood right under it and doing something illegal, you'll be able to see them, but you won't get a good view of things. Certainly not. So there we go. Now we've got some monitoring on the Ranix as well, so we can see what everybody's up to and make sure that they're not up to anything illegal, or maybe up to something illegal. As I say, we can... Can I check to see if they're home? I should have checked to see if they were home. They are all out. They're all out. Brilliant. That's perfect time to go seeing if they've done anything illegal, because I do still need to evict this guy. So maybe if I could find some apples. Where would they keep some apples? Behind the telephone. Oh no. None of them really seem to have any particular food storage locations, so things just get stored kind of wherever in people's apartments. That's the round. Oh, Maria Shimmer's back. Okay, I should probably be getting out of here soon then. Nope, none of those are interesting to me. That's fine. Whatever. We can go talk to Maria. Will she talk to me? No, she's she's upset. Or maybe it's because she just got off the bus. There is a weird kind of moment before and just after they get on the buses when they won't talk to you. And everybody who goes everywhere by bus in this city. Must be a efficient state-run public transit system, perhaps. Nope, she will not talk to me. He's thinking about burning documents. What is he up to? I suspect. I would really like to try and frame Klaus Schimmer for something, but that would require me to go buy some apples, and I don't know where I can get some apples. Or failing that, imported soda. Apples, soda, both good. Books by Paul Williams. Great. If I could find any of those things, those would be perfect. But such is life here in... Oh, he's thinking about a gun. He's got interesting things going on in his life. This is a very dark world. And I feel it feels like it's a world that feels like it has a lot of potential. It's a world that for quite a while, I was really invested and interested in. And, as I say, the story just kind of breaks down. Once the first few tenants have all been kind of arrested or taken away or moved out for whatever various narrative plot reasons, you kind of just fill your apartment with people who don't necessarily interact as interestingly. Like I say, we've got Klaus Schimmer, who can provide books for our son's studies, which I failed to turn in for some reason. We've got, what's her name up here? Rosa. Rosa can provide us with the aspirins if we're willing to do her a favour that will cure our daughter's illness. And everybody interacts in these interesting, complex ways, but then later on they kind of don't. And all the characters, when you talk to them, it's like, hello, it's a nice day, isn't it? Yes, good to see you, moving on. And you can't be like, hey, I've just come around to borrow a saucepan because I need to borrow a saucepan, I'm running errands, I need to help out my wife today, I need a saucepan, can you lend me a saucepan? Those are things that you can do early on, but later just kind of don't. And it's not just that, as I think I mentioned earlier, certainly the financial side of things, there's not a lot of balance going on, certainly not in the preview build that I played, unless they've tweaked something at launch. They do start slapping you with quests that are just like, you need to own a lot of money, or you will fail the quest, and because you failed the quest, we're going to take a lot of money off you as well, and that's probably going to put you in debt, and if you go into debt, you fail the game, the government takes you away, your family dies because you aren't there to provide for them, and that's it, the game ends, start from turn 1 again. So, if I fail to evict Klaus Schimmer, well, I don't get the reward, and I presume the government will take a few, probably 2,000-3,000 off me as well for failing to do their orders. I guess he will stay in the apartment, which is an interesting twist on the affairs, but at the same time, it's going to cost me a lot of money because I didn't do it. Martha is sick. This storyline goes on for a bit, but in a little while, we will get slapped with a lot of medical costs. Turns out aspirin doesn't cure her, spoiler alert, and yeah, suddenly they're like, oh, now you need $20,000 for her medical bills, and if you don't pay that, it goes up to $30,000 after that. So, you can't pay that. I showed you what you do if you make profiles of people. You make $100, $200, $300 a time. You can't make $20,000, $30,000 by doing that. Not in the time frames that they're going to give you to do this. And it's not just that. At the same time, they're throwing other challenges. Your son will have a mission. This may even be it now. He's got a question here. Hi there, son. What has happened? I need to talk with you. Oh no, he wants to go on a date. That's fine. Okay, this is okay. He would like $550 for a theatre ticket. Yikes. Just to go on a date with a girl. But if you refuse, I'm pretty sure other bad things will happen later down the line, because this is 1984. The game is literally set in 1984, by the way. I'm going to give him the money. There you go. Have some flowers as well. So there we go. Actually, all things considered, I think I have a hunch where that goes if you don't pay that, because I have a feeling he falls in with a very anti-establishment crowd if he starts dating that girl. So maybe it would be best not to pay that, actually. Maybe he would be better for our family as a whole if he were to not fall in with the anti-establishment crowd. But he's then going to be unhappy and discontented, and may go off and do other things that are less useful to our family. We shall trade. I really need to talk to that guy about canned food at some point, but what I'm really interested in is a 720 for an apple. Aha! I have apples now. Now, are the Rarnecks home? Yeah, they are. I can see them right there. They're not the Rarnecks, they're the Shimmers anyway. But it is morning, so they may be going out for the day. We can skip it forward for a bit. There we go. They have gone out. You can also pause it. I will say, actually, in terms of controls, I have felt on multiple occasions it would be really, really, really nice if you could just press space to pause. Oh, hi. I didn't know he was there. Okay, he's already annoyed at me. What are you doing here? I'm leaving. Leave at once. Okay. So I got a little negative mark with him, but and he was already angry at me as well and threatening to shoot me the other day. So I'm surprised he didn't shoot me there and then. But yeah, that is the most I've ever seen happen when you break into someone's house. They just go, leave now, and you go, okay, I'm leaving. Bye. It's okay. I would like him to leave his house, though. I would like to fast forward until the point where he goes out for the day. Okay, great. He's gone out for the day. Nothing suspicious about the fact that I was literally loitering outside his front door. Jones doesn't care that I'm breaking into a neighbour's house. It's fine. Basically, I'm going to... We should do it under a camera, right? We should put the apple on the table. They will discover the apple. So I can put the apple in there. Aha! Now they're in possession of an apple. They are doing illegal things. Now I can get them. Can I get them? Do I have to see them pick it up? I actually don't know. I've not actually attempted to frame people for crimes before. For my first playthrough, I generally tried to play it pretty straight, but the game puts you in a lot of bad situations, which is thematically appropriate, always stressful, which again feels very thematically appropriate. This game is a very stressful game to play in a Papers, Please kind of way, and I think so much the better for it. Can we file the Shimmer report now then? Write a report on Klaus Shimmer. No evidence collected. So until I actively see him with an apple, I still can't get him. I still got nothing on the guy. But it's okay. And then maybe they will go stand by the table tonight and pick up an apple, and I will be able to get them. I feel like, yeah, in terms of controls, I feel like if you're hands-on WowSder, it would be nice to have some other quick controls for the fast forward and pause buttons. I could just press F to fast forward and space to pause or something would be pretty ideal on that score. I can't see what he's doing on this camera. I should have got another camera so that I could see what he's doing here in the darkness. And now he's sleeping. It's just not what I wanted to happen at all. Is his wife going to pick up the apple? Nope. My plans backfired. And that is that. That's another day elapsed in the lives of, I forget what the name of this street is. We got mail. We can check our mail, get some various tidbits of information around the world. There is a performance of a capital play which resulted in a scandal. People left before the end. Play should portray real people, not silly stories that have nothing to do with reality. Whether that has something to do with... maybe something to do with the theatre show that my son went to see as well, actually, come to think of it. So maybe he's getting romantic ideas in his head. Ooh, 80s music is illegal. So maybe getting romantic ideas in his head because he's been to see some sort of play with his girlfriend. Who knows? Who knows? These things play out differently depending on what you do, as I say. It's just a shame they don't really seem to go anywhere, because if you don't pay the exorbitant funds that your son will soon be asking for, and he will soon be asking for them, he will be asking for 5 figures in the near future, and, well, heck, I can't afford that. I just bought an apple, damn it. Yeah, he will find a way to get himself killed. Your family will just generally, broadly speaking, seem to find ways to get themselves killed if you don't keep paying the money that they ask for on a regular basis, and it's always far too much money. So whilst again it keeps that kind of dark dystopian tension and stress throughout because you can't afford all these bills, it's so stressful, there's never any real balance to it. Papers, Please, I think, did it well. They charge you with costs, but the costs were always attainable but difficult to attain and maintain a balance of keeping interesting things going on in the story and, you know, keeping your conscience clean. You know, whatever particular things you're trying to juggle at any given time in Papers, Please, it was difficult to do that and pay all your bills to keep your family happy and fed and warm and healthy. Here, there's no semblance of that. It's just like, you can't afford this. So... I'm very torn about this game. I love the concept, and I love, like, the first 2 hours, basically. I love the way the characters interact, I love the world that they built, and the way everything goes on. I love seeing this world unfold. Stressful though it is to keep everything balanced and managed, it's a very compelling world to be a part of, until it isn't. As soon as they start throwing the costs at you, and characters start leaving the game, and just nobody start coming in, and you can't pay the bills, you are literally fighting the clock to not lose the game at that point. You're just waiting until enough things go wrong that your money runs out, and they arrest you. Which is a real shame, because I feel like there could be so much more to this. I want there to be so much more to this. It's a cool theme. It's a very compelling theme. And it's a very, very pretty style. I'm digging the style. It's a very cool, unique style, a very cool, interesting world that, for some reason, all the content that really compels you is within, like, the first 2 hours. And after that, it kind of peters out into... I don't know what. A little bit of me thinks that maybe there's a maybe it's intended for like a lot of replay with a lot of trial and error, kind of Long Live the Queen style, where that game they did have you do things over and over and over again until you got it right, and maybe in this instance maybe we need to learn what all the right decisions are in the right order in order to keep the game going, but I don't think that's what they're going for either. It doesn't feel like that's what the world should be. It's not. It feels like it's playing out like Long Live the Queen, but it doesn't feel like it wants to be or should be Long Live the Queen. Certainly not. It's just a very strange place for it to sit. At any rate, if you wish to have a look at this, I don't know that I'm necessarily going to give it any glowing recommendations, but it is not at a hefty price point, so it is very accessible if you wish to check out at least the first 2 fairly compelling hours of this. So it will be £6.99 in your regional equivalent, and for the first week they're obviously doing a launch discount, as many games often do, bringing it down by 20% to £5.59. So I don't think that's necessarily a bad price for a few hours of entertainment, but I think it's a few hours of entertainment that it feels inevitable can only end in disappointment. And that's really my main flaw with the game. I would love it to be a few hours of entertainment that ended with me thinking, yes, that was a really satisfying experience. Instead it ends with me going, oh, there was literally no way I could have gotten out of that. Oh my god, my daughter's died. Here we go, it begins. I think the game actually ends here. Did I not give her the aspirin? What, Carl? The TV is broken. This is urgent. No. There's also that. So the police come to turn up to take away all dead bodies while he's there. Yep, we know he smokes now. Great. Wonderful. We've learned that. Let's speed this up. Come on. Get on with it. Oh, everyone's worried about money because Martha has died. You don't even get the voice acting for this bit. Yep, there we go. Martha has died. And any moment now, it will say, oh, Martha's funeral cost you $2,000. You can't afford that. Sorry, end of game. Illegal to possess fish. Great. Oh, it's only 1,000. Okay. That didn't completely leave me destitute. Okay, cool, the game goes on. That... I did that. Did I not do that? I gave her the aspirin, right? I thought I did that. It's got a green mark by it, which some of the earlier quests don't? No. In fact, the earlier quests... No, I did them all. Okay, I thought there was one I failed. I'm sure there was one I failed. Yeah, no, Trust and Care I definitely didn't do. No, I thought failed quests had a red X by them. Whatever, at any rate, the fact that I still have his books tells me I didn't do that one. So, yeah, that's about that. That storyline... Last time I played that storyline went way more interesting than that. In this instance, I got the aspirin, I don't have the aspirin. I definitely turned the aspirin in. The aspirin didn't cure her, and I didn't have the doctor in the building, so he couldn't further the story anymore, and our daughter just dies. That's literally all there is to that story, I think. Is if you haven't moved the doctor into your apartment, your daughter will die. This is what I mean about the whole trial and error thing. Whatever. Beholder, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic concept. Slightly flawed execution, I'm afraid. There you go. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Meroka. I will see you next time.